Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Манис Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник. По вторникам мы говорим «Thank God it's Tuesday», потому что в это время мы общаемся с самым великим, самым мудрым, самым потрясающим раввином нашего времени, который доставляет нам безумную радость, не сказать ничего, но на самом деле почет, то, что мы можем вот провести это время с ним раз в неделю, это совершенно просто подарок с небес, сверху, и поэтому, не теряя времени, мы начинаем с ним сегодняшний наш разговор, и этот разговор будет о том, что вот сейчас раскрывается зло, и сегодня мы получим большую-большую порцию этого зла, потому что сегодня президент Трамп должен обнародовать все, что есть по поводу убийства Джона Кеннеди, президента, и что там будет, то есть предвкушают там совершенно какие-то жуткие раскрытия. Естественно, мы будем об этом знать, мы будем об этом рассказывать в других передачах, но вот это раскрытие зла, вот почему вопрос такой, приведет ли это к чему-то хорошему или наоборот это может способствовать чему-то плохому? Вообще-то Ребе Фридман говорит, что раскрытие зла – это хорошо, тогда вопрос у нас следующий. Почему раскрытие зла – это хорошо? Вот с этим вопросом мы прямо сейчас обращаемся к раввину Манису Фридману. Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello. Thank God it's Tuesday. Thank you so much for allocating this time to us. And today is a big day. Today, a big portion, a big revelation of evil is supposed to come out, which is, of course, the files about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And it's probably going to reveal a lot of evil, as we're being kind of told about that by President Trump. And for a while, we've been told by many other sources as well, that something is about to come out that's going to be very, very bad. So we have this revelation of evil coming out. It's coming out in other places as well, but today is supposed to be a big one. The big question of today's program is it good to reveal the bad?
I say it's going to be very bad for whom?
Well, it might be bad for us to find out what has been happening. I mean, we've been assuming things. We've been trying to figure out, make sense of a lot of things. We understand that there was a lot of, that a lot has been happening that was not good for the world, for the society, that, but to know it for a fact, that kind of changes the makeup of things. So, how good is bad?
Could be a little scary, but it's got to come out. It's very good. It's like opening up a boil and letting it heal. It's ugly for a minute, but it will bring good things.
Rabbi Friedman, how can bad bring good?
The exposure of the bad. When the bad is exposed, it's a big improvement. And that's the prophecy that before Mashiach comes, the hidden evil will come out and the hidden good will come out.
Rabbi Friedman,
Which means simply people will tell the truth. That's all it means. If you're honest, you don't keep secrets.
Rabbi Friedman, the Torah has been telling us the truth for very many years, for 3,337. And we've known that there is so much evil. It's been revealed to us through Torah. How did it help us until now? What good did it do for the Jewish people knowing the kind of evil that is out there and what it can do and what it has done?
How does the evil help, or how does the revealing it help?
The revelation of the evil, of course. How does it help us knowing it?
Because once we know it, it's much weaker. Once we know who our enemies are, we're much safer. The hidden enemy is the really dangerous enemy. The one who comes and says, I'm here to hurt you, all right, you deal with it. But when you're getting hurt and you don't even know where it's coming from, much worse. So part of the healing process of the Tikkun Olam is no secrets, no misinformation, no lying. Yeah, if you bring out a little bit of truth, all the falseness and all the evil must surrender. Secrecy has been the best gift to evil. I'm not sure it's exactly relevant, but when Cain kills Abel, God says, the blood of your brother is screaming from the earth. Because God asks him, where is your brother? He says, am I my brother's keeper? What's wrong with that answer? Well, first of all, yes, you are your brother's keeper. That's what a brother is. But more than that, he's not answering the question. It's a dishonesty. It's one of the tools of evil is to change the subject, to mislead, to confuse, to complicate. Where is your brother? If you're not your brother's keeper, you don't know where he is. There's only two of you in the world. You don't know where he is? Where did he go to France? So God says to him, with me you can't play these games. The blood of your brother is screaming to me. Don't tell me, am I my brother's keeper? So it started very early in history. If we start answering questions straight, simple, and if he really didn't know where his brother was, why didn't he just say so? I'm sorry, I don't know. It reminds me of an experience I had when I was before Bar Mitzvah. We lived here in Crown Heights, and there was a little grocery store on the corner. And I was there picking something up for the house. And an Israeli rabbi, an older man, visibly distressed, comes running into the store, and he asks, nobody in particular, where is this address on Crown Street? I gives the number of the house. He looks at me, and I didn't know where that was, and I shrugged my shoulders and I said, I don't know. Whatever it was that was distressing this person, he was in a hurry, something had to get done, I don't know exactly, but he could not resist and it's a sign of a really noble individual. He says to me, I don't know him, he doesn't know me. He's an older rabbi, I'm a kid before bar mitzvah. He says to me, what's with the making with the shoulders? If you don't know, you don't know. What are you making with your shoulders? What? So at first, of course, I was taken aback, like, what is your problem? I don't know. He says, if you don't know, you don't know. What is it making with the shoulders? Seems like when you shrug your shoulders, it doesn't mean I don't know. It means I don't care. It's like, I don't know, and why should I know? It was a strong message. And later, thinking back on it, he had nothing better to do than to lecture a little kid on being honest, on being true. But yeah, that's when you see something false, you identify it, and it has to go away. You can't keep doing it.
Rabbi Friedman, but what do we do with this really negative information that we're getting from a lot of places? Like, what do we need to do with it? We're getting it obviously for a reason. We're getting it in this time of our life. And nothing is by coincidence. So a lot is going to come out today about manipulation of the society, lying, murder, and things that we know took place. We will just know facts about it. What are we supposed to do with this information?
Well, number one, of course, is never let it happen again. Once you're informed, you're empowered. Don't let it happen again. And those who are doing it again are going to run for cover. Once it's known that this can happen and how it's done, they feel a little less safe. So who knows how the domino effect, who did it, who is still alive, who is still responsible, who knew about it but kept it a secret. A lot of people are getting nervous. It's not that long ago. It's not like the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. There are people who are going to, very often we feel like there's no justice. And it's disturbing. We crave justice. Not only that the wicked get punished, but that the righteous get rewarded. When the wicked succeed and the righteous suffer, nobody is in their right mind. The whole world is distressed. Because when there's no justice, our whole system goes into a panic. And we can barely hold our lives together. When things happen the way they should happen, it makes the world so happy and healthy for a while. So yes, it's going to bring great distress to some people, which should have happened a long time ago. But when justice makes sense, there's justice going on we don't know. But when we see it, it gives us a lot of positive energy. So there is rhyme and reason. So the world is not a jungle. So life is not a roll of the dice. God doesn't play dice with the universe. That's very empowering. It's very, we keep saying, good things come to good people, bad things come to bad people. And it never happens. And we get so frustrated. So of course we don't really rejoice in people suffering, even those who deserve to. There's no joy in it. But there is joy in seeing the world come clean, come honest. And every step is a great pleasure. Every brick that was false and it's being replaced with a real brick, it's reassuring, it's strengthening. It makes you want to be good.
Rabbi Friedman, has the world ever been just? I mean, from what we know about it?
Yeah. The problem is the world gets better in one country, gets worse in another. And has Russia gotten better? Is there still a czar killing people because he's in a bad mood?
Well, depends who you ask. I don't know. Has it gotten better or not?
No, it has. It has. For Jews, no question that it has gotten better. I mean, unrecognizably better. But whatever is still wrong, that will come out too. Did they have anything to do with Kennedy? Who knows, right?
Nobody knows. But the amount of people that died in the last couple of years, I don't know. Just it's horrific. Rabbi Friedman, how have we the evil is constantly revealed in the Torah. There's good and evil, and both of them are revealed in the Torah. How do we use that information? How do we apply that information about evil? Can it be applied for the good? What good does it do us knowing about the evil of the world? Through Torah, specifically.
Well, in the Torah, the ending is usually a positive one. There was an evil person, and he got punished, and he suffered, and everything's good. It doesn't always end that way in modern experience. People felt very cheated that Hitler killed himself. So where's the justice? Eichmann got caught. He was put to trial. He was hanged. Okay, that's... But Hitler he cheated us out of... So the evil was not completely eradicated. Would have been much better if he had been caught and held up to the world as an ultimate evil, exposed completely, and the whole world agreed that he deserves a terrible punishment. There wouldn't be Nazis today. It would be too unpopular. So he did. He cheated. He in a sense, he got away with it. He wasn't a young man. He wasn't going to live forever. Didn't want to live anymore. The shame, the guilt. So he cheated. But when the truth comes out, again, we're not supposed to. Who was it? Murray? What's his name? From England? the journalist.
Actually, just listened to his podcast today, but can't remember his name. I think so. I think it's Murray, yeah.
When they killed Sinwar, he said, Jewish law says you should not rejoice when your enemy is killed, but I'm not Jewish, so I'm rejoicing. It helps a lot.
Rabbi Fridman.
It makes everyone who has paid a price for being honest and then asks themselves, why do I have to be the only one suffering? I could have lied like everybody else and not have to pay the price. But when the truth comes out, those who were truthful will feel vindicated. It will confirm in their mind and in their experience that being truthful is the right thing to do. You're not foolish and naive. It is the right thing to do. And that's great. That's empowering.
Now we're back to justice again, which we haven't seen too much of in our lifetime. Everything was so concealed, and we were in a totally different world just a little while ago. It seems unfathomable how life has changed so rapidly, and is still changing. Rabbi Fridman, still about going back to understanding the evil, so the evil can benefit, not benefit, but serve for the change for the good. The worst evil that we have seen was on October 7th. Yet we were all advised not to fully reveal the extent of it. In other words, not to know it, but not to see it. Because the footage was there, but the whole world was advised against watching that footage. Where should we draw the line? Where is the limit? So we need to reveal the evil, we need to know the truth, but to which extent so it helps and doesn't harm, even though it's crazy to think that knowing evil can actually be beneficial, but still, this is the world we live in.
Well, knowing it doesn't mean you have to view it. I think viewing it can actually have a negative effect. Aside from the fact that it's distasteful, and once you see it, the second time will not be as bad. You know, seeing pictures of victims from the Holocaust, it's not a good thing. Seeing desensitizes you. Like even seeing things that are beautiful, if you see them too often, it destroys the enjoyment and the pleasure. The same is true in the negative. You're horrified the first time, the second time, the third time, not so much. So seeing is a separate issue. Knowing is always good. Seeing. Look, I don't know if it's a good example, but children know how babies are made. That doesn't mean they should be in their parents' bedroom. The knowledge is good, seeing is not good. Even God doesn't let us see him. And it's not because he's mean or wants to make things hard. It's because seeing can be very very desensitizing.
Rabbi Friedman,
There's, if we wanted to contrast life back in Russia, let's say 100 years ago, 150 years ago, there was no media. People didn't know. Somebody in the family, God forbid, passes away. You don't know for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. By the time the news gets to you, it's old news. It was a much simpler life. You weren't overloaded with information and with images and pictures and visions. On the other hand, being so narrow-minded, being so restricted in your experiences, left you naive and vulnerable. There was a good side to that. Today we sometimes pray for that kind of simplicity. So each lifestyle has its own challenge. If you live a simple life, turn off the radio, turn off the television, pull the plug on your computer, you will feel so much better. Should we go back to that? I don't think so. I mean, it's not going to happen, but even theoretically, or shouldn't go back to that. There were two Hasidim in America, actually, but from those days back when they were learning a Hasidic mimer, a Hasidic discourse. And in the course of the discussion, it is written there that 2/3 of the world is water, that the oceans and the lakes and the rivers cover 2/3 of the earth. They read that, and one of them said to the other, I don't understand. I took a train from Moscow to wherever. He said, I didn't see so much water. 2/3 of the earth is water. I took a long train ride, and I didn't see so much water. So the other one says, yeah, it's one of these things you just have to accept on faith. Can't even take out a map, look at a globe. No. If you go from Moscow to whatever and you don't see water, then there's no water, and you just have to believe on faith that we don't want to go back to that. As cute as it is, it's not.
Our reality, Rabbi Friedman, is that we do have to deal with the negative information that keeps on coming out. I don't think any generation before us had to deal with particularly this aspect. This is our reality. Yeah. And the big question is, how do we treat this reality? How do we react to this reality? What do we do with this reality? This is the big question, because I think there's no strategy to how to deal with this negative information. And I think we need a good strategy.
The best, I'm not talking about how to solve the problems of evil, but the best response to evil revealed or evil known is the objection and the pain. Why does truth suffer from falseness? Why can falseness, why can lies distort the truth? Why is godliness not the obvious? That's a very disturbing cosmic condition. So it's not who did it, why did he do it, where did it happen, how did he, what weapon did he use? We don't need to know that. But we need to be very upset. Evil wins again. God is still not obvious. God's will is still not in place, being observed, being practiced. That's disturbing. It's not how nasty the nastiness is, because that's just degrees of jadedness. Things used to shock us, little things. Parents neglecting their children was shocking. Today, if that were the only problem, we would be very happy. So what used to shock us stops shocking, right? It shouldn't. Because it's not how nasty the nastiness is. The shock is nasty cannot overcome goodness. And it becomes a personal thing as well. I want to be good. And yet there are so many excuses for not. Why should it be that way? In different words, why is the pleasure of being good far more obvious than the pleasure of being greedy or selfish or cruel? There's a pleasure in it. People who are evil do it because of the pleasure. Why should the pleasure of a sin be equal, if not stronger, than the pleasure of a mitzvah? It's not fair. Like the Rebbe of Berdichev said, he said to God, I know you want us to have freedom of choice. So there has to be good and evil, and we have to know the good and the evil so that we have choices. But it's not fair how you do it. You put all the evil in the streets of Berdichev. Now you want us to have freedom of choice, so you write us a book about being good. Come on, that's not fair. Do it the other way. Put all goodness in the streets of Berdichev. You want us to have freedom of choice? Write us a book, 365 Ways to Sin. See how good we'll be then. But so the situation is not fair. It doesn't seem right that evil is obvious, easily available. It's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you turn. And goodness is like a pleasant surprise. Shouldn't be that way. And that's what should upset us when we see evil. Not, "Oy, that's very evil." Doesn't matter how evil. Evil is evil. The shock is still, after all we know, with all our good intentions, with all our great teachers and inspiring leaders, still, that's shocking and objectionable. It shouldn't be. It can't be like this. So it must motivate us not only to do good, but to promote goodness. Goodness has to become more popular than evil. And yet the default position is, yeah, of course people steal. Yeah, of course they lie. Yeah, of course they hurt each other. Yeah, they're not loyal to their families. Why is that so obvious and acceptable? It should be zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. Somebody was saying just yesterday, this crazy thing of a person setting another person on fire. And this guy was saying, that has got to be punishable by death. You set someone on fire, you don't deserve to live another hour. There should be immediate death penalty, no trial. If there are witnesses that you did it, that's it. You're dead before the weekend, before sunset. So why do you pick only that one sin? Oh, that's horrifying. You see? We're so damaged. Cheating on your wife is not horrifying?
Rabbi Friedman, this is even kind of, I don't want to say worse, but it's kind of sad. So we're seeing the evil. We should be very upset that it's still around and that it's more popular than the good, and be appalled by it, but yet we cannot do anything to change it, pretty much. So we are kind of not upset about the evil, we're upset about the fact that it's still around. But still, what can we do with that? It's still a negative, so we're walking around in this very negative state of being. Even if we try to do good and we know what good is and we want this good, but we're still in this state of negativity because we see bad and we don't like bad. How do we win this one?
Well, that's the positive silver lining, is that when we see evil, it strengthens our conviction that you got to be good. And if that don't do it, then you're going to be exposed to a greater evil that will convince you that it's... And if that doesn't work, then you'll see an even worse evil until you realize evil is just plain evil, zero tolerance. More and more of society is moving in that direction. We have zero tolerance for silly things like pollution. Zero tolerance. We should have zero tolerance for what God has zero tolerance for. But we're coming around to that. You just got to be good, which is much more important than you shouldn't be bad. Shouldn't be leaves you nowhere. Okay, I won't go out hunting and I won't hurt anybody all day long. Now what should I do with my life? So you can't just focus on what shouldn't. The focus has to be on what should. And to the degree that you're committed to what should be, that's how little tolerance you have for what shouldn't be.
So to summarize what we've been talking about today, that means that we still have to see a lot more to come to the right decision and to stop. I don't know. So basically, we're just not there yet. So this evil that is coming out, the more we see of it, the more it makes us disgusted with it, I would say, probably. And the more it leads us to changing our ways, I guess. So is that the big benefit of evil that we're seeing in our lifetime?
Yeah. First of all, being turned off to the evil. Secondly, if justice is served, That strengthens our conviction that good is good and evil is evil, and that eventually evil does not pay. I mean, whoever killed Kennedy must have benefited immensely. I mean, why would he try something like that if there wasn't an infinite kind of a reward? So he must have benefited greatly from it, and until today, he got away with it. That doesn't seem right. So does crime pay? We'll soon see in this instance. And again, once evil starts toppling, you know, in the stores they have these piles of vegetables. So in one corner they had this huge pile of lettuce, heads of lettuce. And there was a little sign that said, "Take lettuce from the top of the pile. If you pull one out from the bottom, if you pull one out from the bottom, heads will roll." People have been pulling out from the bottom and the heads have not rolled. When we see the heads rolling, we will feel very empowered to be good. Not enjoying the people suffering. But when justice is just, the world is infinitely improved. That's why the most egregious sin is corrupt judges. If you had to pick the biggest, most objectionable sin, is corrupt judges. Because from the judge you expect justice. If you're not getting justice from a judge, what hope do we have?
So basically what we're seeing right now from the government, we want protection and leadership, and instead we got, what we're seeing right now, because this is the corruptions that we are seeing is from the inside the system. Apparently that's what 80,000 pages of reports are going to show today. At least that is what being told to us, estimated, that again, we don't know when people are going to read through it. We don't know what we're going to, I'm sure no one I know is going to read all the 80,000 pages of this reports, but we'll get some summaries.
Probably only one page out of the 80,000 is really interesting. But how long does it take to describe a crime? One page.
It's true. So I guess we are supposed to be grateful to President Trump for putting all this information about evil out there so people understand the state of the world. And I think he's helping us see the state of the world, and probably for the reasons which have discussed today, to get fully turned off by it and to completely denounce the evil, any kind of evil. Hopefully this is the process that we're seeing right now. Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much for telling us about the fact that that process has started 4 years ago. It's now more than 4 years ago when COVID started. You said that this is the process that we are going to go through, and we're going through it, and now it's accelerating. Hopefully the change is going to be really, really soon, because right now this injustice state of being is not very pleasant.
No. And, we're at least sensitive enough to come up with a conspiracy theory. Something doesn't smell right. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong, so I'll make up a theory, but nobody ever let that die. We have to give credit to those people who It's not just some Meshuggah took a shot at a president. Come on.
Yep.
Now, we know something is wrong, and it's scary to think that it's still going on. It has not been exposed. It has not been punished. So it's scary. Anyway, let Trump reveal all the evil. We got to be busy bringing in the good.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much. Thank you again for this clarity and strength that the empowerment that you give us every week with clarity and understanding where we are, where we're going, and where we need to be. Thank you so much. And this is absolutely priceless for us and for the rest of the world. Thank you. Hopefully we'll be discussing all the good that is happening in our next programs.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So
Have a good week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much again. Всем, кто нас слушает, большое спасибо. Большое спасибо, что мы все стараемся держаться, улучшать все вокруг себя, учиться, понимать, что происходит, и принимать это правильно. Спасибо вам всем еще раз. И с этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, и передача Thank God It's Tuesday. Прощаемся со всеми. До следующей недели.
Радио, которое объединяет. Радио USA.
www.